So here we are in Polygons, and here we are in Canvas, and this is what we're going to look at, the code for this. And we'll make a few changes. Now, I'm the first to admit that I didn't write this particular Canvas project from scratch. I actually went and found some stuff and did a bit of modification, and this is what it now looks like. So the structure's a bit different, but we are now getting, and we've been actually using JavaScript for a little while without actually saying that we have. When you change the layout so that it looks like this, you are brought into serious JavaScript, and of course we won't look back after this. We'll just keep powering along. Alright, so first things first. We've got some styles up the top. I'm not separating anything, it's just going to all stay in the same spot. So we've got a body declaration where our text is here, not down in the canvas area, and we're using a button. Okay, and so all this is a bit like an ordinary old HTML file, web page or something like that, and those text buttons are then down here. Okay, and this body section, which at the bottom has a div class text statement, and then it puts a heading, does the canvas thing, it puts a little bit of style in there with canvas, not up in the top section. There's a reason for that too, and that's why it sits there. So there's the black border with a 1px, 600 by 400. So that's the area here where the polygons are drawn. So we then click on the buttons below to draw the polygon, and then we've got a whole stack of buttons, and this is how you write the button statement. And this is an extra little bit here, and what happens is on click triangle, so that will then go up into the JavaScript area. You need a declaration at the top, which is a little bit different, so just have a look at that. No truncating here, do it just like that and you'll have no problems. And then we've got a whole bunch of functions: triangle, square, pentagon, hexagon, octagon, and each one of those calls up draw polygon, and here's where the action takes place. Now we do a translate into the middle of the canvas, we do a calculation. If you go back and have a look at some of the stuff in Scratch in this previous video, you'll start to see some similarity here, very similar. So the repeat stuff with the trigonometry that we looked at, there it is, that's what it looks like when you do it in JavaScript. And then you set your line width, and then you set the stroke style. Now this is rather neat. It's going to give you a different color for the edge of each of your polygons, and the infill is the same as the background. If you leave that fill style out, you can have a look and see what happens. I won't tell you what happens. And then it does a translate. Okay, so it sort of puts you back where you came from, more or less. Alright, so when you click one of these buttons, it goes here, and then it passes a set of numbers, which are a bit very similar to the variables that you use in Scratch. So a size, how many sides, and some colors. They're the colors there, those last three. So radius, sides, RGB. You can play with these numbers, you'll see what happens to the shapes when you draw them. The R changes, so the red, the green and the blue changes, and that's how you put them in there. You can't just stick RGB, you've got to put them in there as a string. So that and that and that. Alright, and that's what you'll get. And that is pretty much how things start off. We're going to make a couple of little changes, but if you get that one working, then you'll have this like so. And you might like to think about, because what we're coming up with is, what happens if I click triangle, I get triangle, I click square, and I want the triangle to disappear. and I click pentagon and I want it to disappear, etc., etc. So that's what we're coming up with.